Hey y'all, it's your Keke back with another episode of the Let's Talk About It podcast. Today I'm joined by the one and only MS Crystal. What's up, girl?
Hi, my love. How are you?
Hello, Crystal. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Life is amazing.
Okay, great. So, for those who may not know, Crystal and I met on the set of Love and Hip Hop New York. But before we dive into that, let's take a little trip down memory lane. So, Crystal, can you tell us about your life before entering the reality TV world?
I was a first lady, an entrepreneur, and raising my children at home in the best way I knew how while being on a fixed income.
I wonder how it was like for you being a first lady, especially with dealing with judgmental people all the time in the church. Was it easy or did you face any challenges?
I never really came across anyone judgmental, especially when I was being a first lady. How can you judge the people God put over you, if you get what I'm saying?
I totally get what you mean, LL. You would be surprised. So tell me, what made you interested in wanting to get into reality TV?
So I seen Bravo was casting for Row S5, and I liked the casting post and got a DM. I ended up joining as a friend of this dead bitch named Shelby, and she left and I became a peach holder. We need to dig her up and prop her up for reunions.
Now that you've entered Real Housewives of Atlanta, do you feel like it changed you or made the people in your church look at you differently due to the dramatic events that happen on the show?
Well, I was already divorced by the time I joined Roa and was in a whole nother church. I don't feel Roa changed me. I'm still authentic Crystal.
Okay, let's go back for a moment. If you don't mind sharing, what were some of the things that contributed to the breakdown of your marriage?
It was literally because he said Beyonce was better than Nicki Minaj, and I take Nicki seriously. I go crazy for her LMAO. Everyone knows this.
Chili, you already know that we all love Nicki Minaj. Shout out to the queen of rap. Hold on, I'm curious. How many seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta did you do before receiving the offer to join Love and Hip Hop New York?
If I'm not mistaken, I joined Love and Hip Hop New York after season 8 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, or maybe after season 7, so 3 or 4 seasons.
Okay, so I entered the world of Love and Hip Hop New York, and that's where I crossed paths with you. Our first encounter was definitely something special, but before we begin any further, I was wondering if I could ask you about the whole situation between you and KH Loey. What happened there, and how did the beef start?
Well, it wasn't really beef with us yet, Lamau. It was more so tension. And I felt you was barging in on what I was saying on our first ever scene filming, and boom, we start fighting. And that same scene, I ran up on Keisha so fast, Lamau.
LOL, I was totally speechless when the whole thing went down in that scene with Kesha. It didn't make sense to me because she seemed like such an innocent person, and the way it was explained to me after that, everyone was saying that you girls were just bullying her.
LMAO, because that bitch is a pregnant, delusional psychopath with bad wigs and a bad body.
LMAO OMG, the drama just doesn't stop. So I know Kiesha has run ins with a lot of people, including your best friend Sua. What led to the problems between you and Keisha?
So with Keisha, it all started on Real Housewives, hated her vibe, her wannabe, a bitch attitude, and I wasn't having none of that and ate her up constantly. I was on dat ass.
Okay, I'm wondering, what were the specific reasons behind the constant arguments between you and Shiesty? Were there any particular events or differences in opinion that led to all the blowups?
To be completely honest with you, I really don't remember how it all started between us. But it was sometime during Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was her first season, and the friction started almost immediately. But it just evolved over time, and all of a sudden I just started saying all types of crazy things about her, to the point where I apologized because it was really beyond the pale. That was really wrong.
Glad we got that cleared up, especially since she and I aren't on the best terms right now. But serious though, a lot of the girlies have been throwing those accusations around, saying she and Taz were involved in the sexual assault of younger girls. What are your thoughts on that?
You. This content is filtered and cannot be talked about on YouTube or Instagram. We take sexual assault very seriously, and it's no joke.
All right, let's get back to the program. When the seasons progressed, I remember you took a break from the show. Could you tell me what were the reasons behind your departure?
So I was dealing with something called ulcerative colitis in real life, which can be life threatening. So I was on bed rest and just in the hospital. That's all the info I want to give, especially because it's a touchy topic that I dealt with in real life.
You know what? Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to apologize. I wasn't being womanly when I didn't take your situation seriously and made false assumptions about you. I just hope you can forgive me for my ignorance. Yo, y'all, let me explain something important. During the preparations for a new season of Love and Hip Hop, the production team made some shady requests. I thought Crystal was just making excuses, but I now realize that she was going through something serious. I apologize for my immaturity. It was very childish on my part. As for how Crystal is doing mentally after everything she has been going through during her break from TV, I'm sure she could share more about.
My mental has been great. That's really why I'm back. Plus, this is fun. I love filming and all that.
Hey girl, let me ask you something. What's going on in your dating life these days? Have you found a nice young man to keep you company? Or maybe you're enjoying the single life?
So, me and my ex husband are actually trying to rekindle. We are taking things to slow to see if this is what we want. We don't want to rush things.
I feel you. So, if you were given the opportunity to create your own show, what type of program would you make? And who would your top choice be for the Dreamcast?
It would be called The Life of Crystal Sinclair. It would focus on me, my family, and would let people be able to know me more outside of these other shows.
That's awesome. I would totally do the same thing. As for me, I'm still learning and exploring my relationship. Reality TV can be a bumpy ride, but it's all part of the journey, right? So, currently, are there any big beefs or drama in your life right now?
I have no beefs right now, which is shockingly crazy to me.
All right, let's change the topic a bit and talk about something important. What advice would you give to people who are aspiring to enter the reality TV world or just any form of entertainment?
Don't come in trying to get to the top by doing too much and starting fake beefs. Be authentic.
Girl, let's play a game. Imagine you were given the chance to create the baddest cast for Love and Hip Hop. Who would be your dream team, your absolute favorites to have on the show?
Awa Shisti, myself, Sua, Bunny, KU, and Tiffany.
Hey, are you down to play Let's Get Messy with me? I have some fun and maybe a little bit messy questions in mind. Now, there's been a rumor going around about you. They say you were sleeping with different pastors for certain titles in your church. Is there any truth to that?
And no, that was all a lie. I started as a joke and everyone ran with it. Hey, Keke, I have a question for you. Is it true that you only respected Shiesty because you were scared of her?
LOL, girl, I can almost choke on that question. Haha, hell no, oh girl, I don't play around like that. Y'all may have seen me go at it with Shiesty, but I always stand my ground. No disrespect, just Keisha being Keisha. Her level of drama is a whole nother level, but I ain't gonna let anybody disrespect me. Okay, before we head out, is there anything new or exciting going on in your life that you want to share with?
Check me out on Beverly Hills Royalty coming soon. Be on the lookout.
Woohoo! Time to close out today's show. Thank you so much for joining us, Crystal. We appreciate having you here. And hey, maybe we'll bring you back for season 2 or any updates on your new show. Thanks for coming on, girl.